Hey, what up guys? Welcome back to Sneaker Stories. As always, I'm your host Chris Jack. Today, an incredibly exciting collaboration between none other than Maison Margiela and of course Reebok on the Club C. Without further ado, let's check them out. Alright, so the Club C, a follow-up to the original classic leather tabby, which I think debuted about a month or two ago on Kim Kardashian's Instagram. It featured a whole weird sort of split toe box thing that Margiela does with like all of their inline shoes, which is not everyone's cup of tea. But as far as the collaboration goes with the Club C, this is absolutely everyone's cup of tea. Surely, like, this is one of the cleanest shoes that I've personally seen on foot and in hand. It really is just incredible. Having just released this morning, April 8th, here on Reebok.co.za for the price point of 2,999 Rand. Slightly more than what you would expect to pay for a Club C collaboration. Most of them are around the 1,699 mark. But what I can tell you for sure is that this shoe in the United States costs $300, and that's because of the process that's gone into the shoe, which we'll get to in the review. But 2,999 Rand versus $300, that is an absolute steal here locally in South Africa. So shout out Reebok for getting that one right. This obviously being a collaboration with a luxury label, which is insanely expensive usually with their own footwear, is a really good price point for what you're getting. And they've really taken this process, the whole idea behind the shoe, something called trompe-l'oeil. We're just going to actually learn how to trompe-l'oeil.
Trompe-l'oeil.
Trompe-l'oeil. Trompe-l'oeil.
Trompe-l'oeil.
Trompe-l'oeil. Anyway, that's the idea behind the shoe, and if you don't know what that means, like I didn't know what that means, it means trick of the eye. So what you might not see on camera over here is that this is actually one single piece of leather, excluding the little overlays in some particular places, but even from the eyelets throughout the entire quarter panel all the way into the toe box is one piece of leather, and it just got some reinforcements here in and around the mudguard. But the printing process used here is incredibly unique. The trick of the eye, the trompe-l'oeil, where they've basically superimposed all the stitch lines, the logos that you see here, the perforations in the toe box, all of that just through a digital printing process. Now when you open up the box, and we'll get into the box later because that is also incredible, you do get a little card here which explains that a little bit. It just says this model's been realized with a special material obtained through different stages of refinement. So really refined leather that they've used over here. The leather is subjected to a digital printing process, and slight overflow protection, nuances and slight differences in color are distinctive features of the product. It's recommended to treat this with care and attention to avoid prolonged contact with water or cleaning with abrasive chemicals. So one thing definitely to note there, don't stuff these up with a whole bunch of different sneaker cleaners or whatever, because the process that's been gone into the leather over here is obviously quite sensitive. And that's not to say that you're going to wear them in the rain and things are going to start pouring off. It's more just like from a heavy cleaning perspective, which I don't really foresee most people doing this, because this is a very like occasional shoe, at least in my opinion. The leather itself is incredibly soft here. Like it's kind of similar to what you get in like Adidas Y3, which is their sort of like premium offering with Yohji Yamamoto. Like a lot of the shoes come with the same kind of disclaimer, because the material processes that are done in creating the materials are like super sensitive to create like a unique output for the shoe, which makes them stand out from just the normal like general release pairs. And that is 100% happened with the Club C. Now to get into some details, starting with the outsole of the shoe, is just a non-marking rubber outsole over here with the Reebok logo debossed into the midsection of the shoe. This is all just done in a white to flip up here into the midsole with the little niblets on there, with the Reebok logo debossed there as well towards the heel. And then obviously into the upper, we've already spoken about the digital process or printing process used in the creation of this, but some details do include the traditional sort of Reebok and the Union Jack flag here in that open panel over there, even though it's just flat. I mentioned here the mudguard over here is a secondary piece of leather, so obviously just providing some more protection towards the forefoot of the shoe, and obviously providing its shape as well where it's joined to the midsole. Now just moving to the lacing section of the shoe, generally you would have another overlaid panel over here just reinforcing the holes of the shoe where the laces go through, of course. That's obviously not present on this, it just is superimposed, but one set of flat laces provided with the shoe, and they're just done in a flat white, and that is obviously on both of the shoes. The tongue material over here is of course leather on the exterior, the same leather that's used throughout the rest of the shoe. And at the top of that, you've got one of the more beautiful collaboration logos. I just absolutely love the Maison Margiela branding. It really comes through nicely on this white and black tongue tag over here, with of course the Reebok logo underneath. It's just something so clean about it, and it plays into the rest of the design of the shoe completely as well. Now moving into the heel section of the shoe, this is also something that's quite unique. This is another overlaid piece of leather, just with the Reebok logo done in the same printing finish over there, but you have this stitch that comes right through that panel. It's something I haven't seen on any other Club C's that I have, and although that detail might just be something so small, but for me it's just this little bit of elevation to something like a little bit more unique than what you would normally get. And then just flipping inside of the shoe, the sock liner and the reverse of the tongue here is done in that sort of French terry towel cloth, and that is done in a white. From an insole point of view, which I can't really get out, but I can now, you do have the Maison Margiela Paris and of course Reebok logos, and that's done on both of these flat white insoles. Now provided with the shoes in the box, you do have these little booties. These are actually quite cool because you can wear these with anything really. You could like completely put the shoe inside or whatever you want to do, but that's basically how they live. I'm assuming, I don't own any other Margiela shoes like from their own brand itself, but I'm assuming that's how the shoes come, so they are provided with the Club C's as well inside of the box. Then lastly, just the box itself. This is a completely different box that I've ever seen from any Reebok shoe. I'm assuming it's obviously bringing in elements from Margiela there as well. You do have this beautiful like embossed co-branding logos here just on the top, and the whole sort of box has got this glossy white pearlescent vibe to it. It is a top opening box of course, and then you've just got co-branded paper over here which the shoes are wrapped in, and a whole bunch of sort of padding just to keep the shoes absolutely protected in transit. Now from a label point of view, here in the front of the box you'll notice that's completely different as well. It's a massive piece of card. It's just got the size tag on it. It says Project Zero CCTL unisex. Tennis shoes basically made in Vietnam. Now from a sizing perspective, I do have a UK 8, which is a full size down from my usual true to size on the Club C. They do fit me absolutely perfectly, maybe slightly just a bit narrow on the side. So if you do have a wide foot, you want to probably go true to size with this pair. I haven't had the opportunity to try a true to size pair on these yet, but I was very surprised at how well a full size down from my true to size fits me in the Margielas. Now if you do want to get a pair of these, they are available on www.reebok.co.za for the price point of 2,999 Rand, which as I already mentioned earlier in the review is an incredibly good price point considering $300 in the States, what that generally would work out here. If we did basic calculations over the cost of Yeezy or something like that from dollar to Rand value, these should be probably around 4 to 4.5, maybe even more depending on exchange rate. So a really good job, well done to the Reebok team for landing these ones here at such a competitive price. Overall speaking, I just don't think you can go wrong with this pair. It's a great shoe to like dress up for a wedding or something like that. You do also have that hit of luxury branding that's going into the shoe, which automatically just elevates the whole vibe that you get from wearing these. They look absolutely amazing on foot. Definitely a pair that I would recommend you get your hands on before they sell out. But that is it for my review of the Maison Margiela Club C's trompe-l'oeil, trick of the eye. We'll go with that one rather for us English speaking folks. But if you do have any further questions on the shoe, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Otherwise, if you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe right here for more content reviews and unboxings like this down the line. But that is all for today guys. I'll catch you on the next one.